For as long as humans have gazed at the stars, we've asked the same haunting question: are we alone? It's a question at the heart of one of the greatest mysteries in science, the Fermi Paradox. To understand it, we must begin with the silence of the universe itself. The universe is vast, unimaginably vast. Everywhere we look, we find stars, billions of them scattered across the night sky. And each one of those stars is not just a point of light, but a sun. Some of them small and red, burning gently for trillions of years. Some massive and hot, burning out in violent flashes. Some not so different from our own. And around those stars, planets circle in endless orbits. Gas giants, barren rocks, frozen worlds. But also, in some rare places, planets like ours. Worlds where sunlight warms oceans and stirs the air. Worlds where chemistry has the chance to awaken into biology. By all logic, the universe should be alive. Alive with voices, alive with civilizations, alive with beings who, like us, have looked up at the stars and wondered if they were alone. And yet, the stars are silent. We see no signals, no evidence, no visitors. The radio waves we have sent into the dark drift endlessly outward, but nothing ever answers. This silence has a name. It is called the Fermi Paradox, a question that has haunted scientists, philosophers, and dreamers for decades. If the universe is so full of possibility, then where is everyone? It begins with numbers, simple probabilities, multiplied across the stars. In our galaxy alone, the Milky Way, there are over 400 billion stars, and thanks to telescopes like Kepler and TESS, we now know that most of those stars have planets. Not just a few, but many. Some stars may host entire families of worlds, like our own solar system. Of those billions of planets, a fraction will sit in the habitable zone, the region where liquid water can exist, where temperatures are neither too hot nor too cold. Already, we have discovered thousands of such exoplanets. And the truth is, we have only just begun looking. The galaxy may hold billions more. This is where the Drake equation comes in. A formula created in 1961 by Frank Drake to estimate the number of communicating civilizations in our galaxy at this moment. The equation multiplies the odds, the rate at which stars are born, the fraction that form planets, the number of planets in habitable zones, the chance life begins, the chance life evolves into intelligence, the chance intelligence builds technology, and finally, how long such civilizations last. Even with cautious guesses, the numbers suggest something staggering. Thousands, perhaps millions of civilizations, right here in the Milky Way. And that's just one galaxy. The universe contains at least 2 trillion more. 2 trillion galaxies, each with billions of stars and countless worlds of possibility. By all probability, the night sky should be alive with signals. Alien civilizations should have filled the galaxy long ago. Some of them should be ancient, millions of years older than us. Civilizations with technology we can scarcely imagine. They should have explored. They should have built. They should have left traces behind. And yet, when we listen, we hear nothing. The radio telescopes of SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, have scanned the skies for decades. They have heard static, pulsars, natural radio bursts, but never a clear signal of intelligence. By the numbers, the galaxy should be crowded, but all we see is emptiness. Perhaps the silence has an answer. Perhaps civilizations are not as common as the numbers suggest. Perhaps something stops them. This is the idea of the Great Filter, a barrier that life must cross to reach the stars. the filter could be behind us. Maybe life itself is the miracle. Perhaps the leap from chemistry to biology is so unlikely that it has only happened once, here on Earth. Think of it. For billions of years, the universe was silent. Stars were born and died. Galaxies spun in their endless dance. And yet, nothing looked up at the stars. Until here. Until us. If the filter is behind us, then we are unimaginably rare, perhaps unique, and that would make Earth the most precious place in the cosmos. But the filter may not be behind us. It may be ahead. Perhaps life is common. Perhaps intelligence is common. But intelligence that lasts may not be. Civilizations may rise, only to collapse under their own weight. Through war, through famine, through the exhaustion of their planet's resources, through technologies they invented but could not control. Here on Earth, we have seen it on smaller scales, the fall of empires, the collapse of once great civilizations, Rome, the Maya, Easter Island, each leaving behind ruins, echoes of what once was. Now imagine that same story played out on a planetary scale. An entire world reaching for the stars, then vanishing before the leap could be made. If this is the pattern of intelligent life, then silence is not surprising. It is inevitable, and the most unsettling possibility of all is that the great filter still lies ahead of us, that we are not rare or special, but doomed, that every civilization eventually meets the same end. If so, the silence of the stars is not comfort. It is warning. But maybe the silence is not because they are gone. Maybe it is because they are hiding. This is the zoo hypothesis. The idea that advanced civilizations know we are here, but choose not to reveal themselves. Like zookeepers observing animals, they watch us from a distance, studying, waiting, allowing us to grow without interference. Humans do this on Earth. We protect endangered species in reserves, observing them through hidden cameras, never letting them know they are being watched. Why? Because interference could change their behavior. It could ruin the experiment. Or worse, it could destroy what makes them natural. Perhaps advanced civilizations treat us the same way. Perhaps Earth is inside a kind of cosmic sanctuary. Our broadcasts may travel outward, but maybe they are quietly filtered, blocked before they ever reach alien ears. Science fiction has long imagined such rules. Star Trek called it the Prime Directive, a law forbidding advanced societies from interfering with less developed ones. Perhaps the galaxy has something similar. If so, then the silence of the stars is not emptiness. It is restraint. But the idea carries unsettling weight. If we are being observed, then we are not alone. We are being watched. Every broadcast we make, every signal we send, every experiment we launch into space may already be logged and analyzed. And if that is true, then the silence is not ours, it is theirs, a choice to remain hidden. But what if the silence is not protection, but fear? This is the dark forest hypothesis, a vision of the universe as a place of danger, a place where silence is survival. Imagine a dark forest at night. Each civilization is like a camper with a fire. The flames provide warmth, comfort, and light. But in the darkness beyond, others may be watching. Hunters. And in the forest, you cannot know their intentions. Are they friendly, curious, or are they predators, waiting for the right moment to strike? In such a place, the safest choice is to remain silent, to hide your fire, to never reveal your position. The same may be true in the cosmos. Every civilization knows that broadcasting its existence is like lighting a beacon in the night. And if another civilization finds you, they may not take chances, because survival may depend on striking first. On Earth, we have seen this story play out. When two civilizations meet at different levels of technology, the weaker one rarely survives. History is full of conquest, colonization, and extinction. Now imagine that on a galactic scale. A young species sending radio waves into the stars, while an older, far more powerful civilization listens. Would they come with friendship? Or would they see us as a threat, best silenced before we grow stronger? In a dark forest universe, every voice is a risk, every signal is a target, and silence is the only defense. If this is true, then the quiet of the stars is no mystery at all. It is a strategy, the only way to survive in a universe of hunters. But maybe the silence does not mean danger. Maybe it simply means we are early. The universe is 13.8 billion years old. And yet, that is only the beginning of its story. Stars will continue to form for trillions of years. Galaxies will keep spinning long after our sun is gone. The cosmos is still in its youth. Perhaps life is just beginning to emerge. Perhaps civilizations like ours are only now taking their first steps into the dark. When we look for others, we imagine an old, crowded galaxy. But maybe we are among the first sparks, the earliest voices in a silent sea. If so, the silence is not permanent. It is temporary, the quiet dawn before the galaxy awakens. Think of Earth's early oceans. For billions of years, they were filled only with microbes. Simple life, unseen and unnoticed. And then, slowly, evolution accelerated. Complex creatures appeared. The Cambrian explosion filled the seas with diversity. What was once barren became alive. Perhaps the galaxy is in its microbial age. Civilizations like ours may be rare now, but common in the eons to come. And if we are early, then we are pioneers, the first to carry the light of intelligence into a dark and waiting cosmos. But being early carries weight, because if we are the first, then we are also responsible. What we do now may shape the galaxy's future. How we use our power, how we treat our world, how we expand into the stars. All of it may set the tone for civilizations yet to come. To be early is not just privilege, it is destiny. Another possibility is that they are here, but invisible to us. Our search for intelligence in the cosmos is still in its infancy. For decades, projects like SETI have aimed radio telescopes into the sky, listening for whispers of alien broadcasts. But what we are really doing is searching for a reflection of ourselves. We listen for radio because that is what we use. We scan the skies for lasers because we can imagine building them. But a truly advanced civilization may have moved far beyond these primitive tools. They could be using methods of communication we cannot yet imagine. Streams of neutrinos, beams of gravitational waves, subspace channels hidden in the fabric of physics itself. To them, our efforts might look like a child scratching sticks together to make fire, while starships drift silently overhead, communicating in ways we cannot perceive. Imagine a caveman staring into the night sky, straining to hear the crackle of distant smoke signals, while a satellite passes above his head, broadcasting data in microwaves he will never know exist. That is us, a young species listening with primitive ears, while the real conversation may already be happening all around us. And there is another possibility, one even stranger. What if their technology is so advanced it is indistinguishable from nature itself? What if the strange flicker of a star, the pulse of a quasar, or the silent drift of a cometary cloud is not a natural phenomenon at all? but the byproduct of machines. Clarke once said, "Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. To us, it may also be indistinguishable from physics itself. We may already be surrounded by civilizations so far beyond us that we cannot even recognize them. Perhaps the silence is not silence at all. Perhaps we are simply deaf. Or perhaps, the answer is simple, perhaps we are rare." The rare Earth hypothesis suggests that while the universe may be full of planets, very few are like ours, because Earth is not just another rock in space. It is the outcome of an almost impossible chain of luck. Our planet orbits at just the right distance from the Sun. Not too close, where oceans would boil away, not too far, where everything would freeze, but in the narrow band where water can remain liquid and life can take hold. We have a protective magnetic field shielding us from deadly solar radiation, a stable atmosphere, thick enough to trap warmth, but not so heavy it crushes us. We have a large moon, an unlikely gift. It stabilizes our planet's tilt, keeping our seasons steady and our climate relatively calm. We have Jupiter and Saturn, giant guardians on the edge of our system. Their immense gravity has shielded us by deflecting countless comets and asteroids that might otherwise have ended life long ago. Even with all of this protection, life on Earth has been nearly wiped out again and again. Asteroid impacts, volcanic winters, mass extinctions. And yet each time, life returned, adapted, and carried on. For 4 billion years, life has clung to this fragile oasis. And only once, in all that time, did intelligence emerge. Only once did civilization arise. Only once did technology bloom. The silence of the stars may not mean that life never begins. Perhaps simple life is common, but the leap from simple cells to thinking minds may be so rare that we are alone. Not just in the galaxy, but in the entire universe. If that is true, then Earth is not just special, it is singular. A miracle against impossible odds. And that would mean we are not simply lucky. We are everything. But there is another possibility. One that does not question the stars, but questions reality itself. What if the silence is not cosmic, but artificial? Some scientists and philosophers suggest that we may be living inside a simulation, a universe not built from atoms and galaxies, but from information, from code, a vast program, a constructed reality designed to appear real only as far as it needs to be. If this is true, then the silence of the stars may not be mysterious at all. It may be deliberate. Perhaps other civilizations do not exist because they were never coded to exist. The stars may stretch endlessly overhead, but perhaps only a fraction of them are rendered, like the distant background of a video game. Illusions of depth, never meant to be explored. Or maybe the designers chose to keep us isolated. To see how long it would take for us to ask the question, where is everyone? If our reality is simulated, then the great silence is not the absence of life. It is a feature, a programmed boundary to keep us from peering too far. And if this is true, then the real question is not, where is everyone? But something far stranger. Who built this place, and why? It could mean that the beings we imagine as aliens are not out there among the stars, but above us, the architects, the observers, the designers of reality itself. If so, then our search for extraterrestrial life may be less about discovery and more about revelation, not finding others in the cosmos, but finding the edges of our own cage. To what if the silence is not complete? What if we have already seen hints, whispers hidden in the noise of the cosmos? Over the years, astronomers have discovered signals that defy easy explanation. There are fast radio bursts, sudden, powerful flashes of energy that last only milliseconds, yet release more power than the sun emits in an entire year. They come from distant galaxies, repeating with strange patterns. Are they natural phenomena, or something else? Then there is Tabby's star, a star that dims and flickers in ways unlike anything we have seen before. Some suggested vast artificial structures, like solar collectors orbiting the star, draining its light. Nature may yet explain it, but the possibility lingers. And of course, the most famous of all, the WOW signal. In 1977, a radio telescope in Ohio picked up a signal so strong, so unusual, that the astronomer who saw it circled it on the computer printout and wrote a single word in the margin: "Wow." It lasted just 72 seconds, never repeated, never explained. For decades, it has haunted us. A ghost in the static, a voice that may have spoken once and then was gone. Each time we find something strange, the debate begins. Is it a natural phenomenon, a glitch in our instruments, or the faint trace of intelligence? So far, nature has always won. Every time, a mundane explanation has eventually been found. But the possibility remains. The idea that one day we may find something that cannot be explained away, something undeniable. And when that day comes, the silence of the universe may end with a single signal. The Fermi Paradox doesn't just ask, where is everyone? It asks something closer, something about us. Because if life is rare, then perhaps we are its only voice, the only chance the universe has to know itself. That would make every choice we make here on Earth carry unimaginable weight. Every discovery, every mistake, every step forward would matter not just for us, but for all of existence. And if the great filter lies ahead, then the question is not about them. It is about us. Will we last? Will we learn? Or will we vanish, folding back into the silence of the stars, just like every other voice that may have come before us? It is easy to look at the paradox as a riddle of science, but it is also a test of character, because survival will not be determined by what telescopes we build, but by how we treat one another. Every generation writes a new page in humanity's story, our story. And one day, those pages may decide whether we remain a fragile spark, burning briefly and fading, or whether we become a flame that spreads across the stars. The silence out there may not just be a mystery, it may be a challenge, a question left hanging in the dark, not where is everyone, but what will we choose to become? So we are left with a silence that could mean danger, a galaxy of hunters hiding in the dark, or wisdom, civilizations so advanced they choose not to disturb us. It could mean we are rare, a miracle born against impossible odds, or early pioneers at the dawn of cosmic history. The truth of the Fermi Paradox may not be answered in our time. It may remain a mystery for generations to come. But the silence is not empty. It forces us to reflect, because the greatest unknown is not whether others exist, but whether we will endure long enough to find them. Perhaps someday the silence will break. Perhaps a signal will arrive, a message from across the stars. Or perhaps we will be the ones to break it, to step into the dark, to carry the first voice of life into a waiting galaxy. And so the final question is this: when the silence is broken, will humanity still be here to hear it? If you've made it this far, thank you. Together, we've traveled through silence, probability, fear, and wonder. But this was only one story, one attempt to answer the question, where is everyone? The truth is, there are countless more mysteries waiting in the dark, and each one is a journey worth taking. So if you want to keep exploring, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who loves the stars, and let me know in the comments what you think the answer might be. And of course, subscribe to join the journey. One tale at a time, one mystery at a time, right here at Across the Cosmos.